Hello, Audioholics. My name is Logan. Welcome to Audioholics Unite. With me is...
Tyler.
Oh my god. What? He didn't screw it up. Oh my god!
I didn't give myself a different name this time.
Oh no!
Honestly, I'm just tired. I'm just too tired to think of a dumb joke right now.
You could have just said that. Like, I'm Logan, and with me is tired. I'm tired.
Well, I was too tired to think of that.
Oh, well, stop being tired. Slap yourself in the face or something, you prick.
There.
All right, so Static X is a band that I just found out existed.
Yeah, they were really, really, really big in the 2000s, and they're still kind of big, but like they just released a comeback album, and that is huge.
Yeah,
because they've been kind of
taking the metal industry by storm.
I don't really like. Okay, I know a little bit, but I'm not too familiar with the history of Static X. I think they might have broken up around like 2010, and that's why they never put out another album. If they didn't break up, they just went on a really extended hiatus. Point is, they haven't put out an album in 11 years.
Can we talk about how that's still a shorter hiatus than Tool?
Well, I mean, Maynard's gone on to do like a Perfect Circle, and I'm sure all the other guys are doing things here and there. They just weren't concerned with it. And honestly,
like,
I think
people from Static X not doing their own solos.
I don't know if they have or not, but I know, like, I think that's what's going to happen to System of a Down. Like, at some point, they're just going to come together and be like, yeah, it's been like 15 years. Let's make an album.
Let's just, come on, like, seriously, System of a Down, it doesn't even need to be good. It can just shit something out.
Yeah. I mean, even if they did, it would still be amazing because it's System of a Down.
Serge Tankian is just like, Trump is bad and I hate Trump.
That's the whole song right there.
There you go. Perfect.
Their last album was in 2005. It's been 15 years.
Exactly.
15 years.
15 motherfucking years.
I mean, I was just joking when I said, like, oh, it's been 15 years. Let's get together. Apparently, it's going to be more like 20.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. So Static X released an album. It's called Project Regeneration Volume 1, which implies that there will be a Volume 2, but I'm not sure. I have heard the singles, namely Hollow, Project Regeneration, and it's a lot heavier than I remember Static X being, but I really like the groove of it. It's really nice. None of these songs are too long. The album in of itself is only 39 minutes long. That's not bad at all.
Cool. We might be able to get this entire podcast done in over under an hour.
Yeah.
That might be kind of a surprising thing, but I have never listened to a Static X album. I hadn't even really known much of anything about Static X until maybe just a few days ago. I listened to Push It. It kind of sounds like Rob Zombie. Like, vocals maybe aren't as good as Rob Zombie, but like the musical direction is almost exact. I listened to the song Push It, by the way. I don't remember if I said that.
Yeah, I would say in general, Static X has a very like new industrial metal type thing about them. I kind of think they have a fair amount of groove influence, but I wouldn't call them a groove metal band.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's my, I mean, it sounds like something I would really like. I mean, you know, Typo Negative, Rob Zombie, some of my favorite bands of all time. Even like that era of Alice Cooper was, I would say, his best era. Like when he started doing like industrial rock. Like, was it as good as Rob Zombie? Probably not, but it's still probably his best work.
So now that Logan's like told you his history with the band, I'll tell you mine. I originally discovered Static X when listening to a Spotify radio. I think it was literally just like workout metal. And it just came up in the middle of my workout, the song Cold. And I remember just thinking, this is some of the most badass music I've ever heard. What the fuck is this band? And then I forgot to look at the fucking band before the song was over. And I was like, shit, what was the song? It was too late. I couldn't go back because I didn't have Spotify Premium back then. Poor me.
Oh.
Poor me.
Sucks to be you.
But I did eventually hear that song again, and then I found out the name was Static X, and I went and listened to their album Machine, which was their debut album, I believe. Nope, second album. It was their second album. What was their debut album? Wisconsin Death Trip. That's what it was, right? Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, their second album, and I loved it. It maybe not favorite album of all time material, but it's still really good. I haven't really listened to a whole lot outside of that, though. I heard the album with Push It on it. I forget what album that is. Oh, wait, that literally is their debut album,
Okay.
Wisconsin Death Trip. I listened to this album, and I remember thinking it's good, but not as good as Machine. Didn't really explore much outside of it, but I am really excited for this record.
I mean, I'll have to, if I like this album, which I probably will, just based off of what I've heard of them so far, I'll have to check out, what did you say it was called? Machine?
That's the one I like.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
Alrighty, let's
You want to get
into
started?
this. You
Yeah.
want to go through your spiel?
Yes. So a few things. One, if you're interested in this video, I'll have a couple other things we're getting into. We're doing the wrong opinion. We just did one on Metallica. I think System of a Down is not too far ahead in the future. We have an entire list of other bands. We have our own separate Getting Into series. I'm getting into trip hop. I just did Rob Duggan, Bonobo, 07, Bjork. Those are some other bands I did. He's getting into prog music, so like Camel, King Crimson, Gentle Giant. Are you doing Rush? I can't remember.
At some point, I think.
Okay. Yeah, but so basically, bottom line, if you're interested in us getting into new and interesting bands, maybe you want to get into them yourself and want to know a good place to start, check that out. And then one other thing we are going to be doing, he actually already has done, we are going to be doing our top 50 albums. He's already done his honorable mentions. I have yet to do the video. I'll admit I'm kind of anxious because like basically all the albums in my top 50 I would say are 10 out of 10s. So it's just basically like ranking like which one is the most perfect. All right, so that's the first thing out of the way. Second thing, my usual spiel. The link will be in the description to listen along with this album. I would recommend using AdBlock for the best results. So without further ado, we are going to be listening live in 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
Boom.
Boom. What? Nice. Okay, already. I'm sold. I'm sold on
Yeah, this
literally
is immediately weird.
Yeah, I'm already sold on the first 5 seconds. This looks to just be an intro track. We are on... What is this, Regeneration?
This is...
Yeah, Regeneration.
Regeneration.
You know, I've been listening to like trip hop like for a little while, and this does not feel out of place for some of that type of thing.
So this is the song Hollow. This is the one I've heard.
Project Regeneration. Cool riff. Different vocal style than the one song I listened to. The song I listened to is more akin to Rob Zombie. This, I can't really think of anything I would compare this to. It's pretty unique. Maybe like I don't know, a much cleaner Marilyn Manson. Like when he screams, it's not too far off from Manson.
Oh,
It's
Logan,
really
go ahead and
nice.
check your phone real quick.
Just keep talking.
Alrighty. Yeah, this is a really, really cool song. I don't know. It's pretty much on par with what I remember from Machine, what I remember loving from Machine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I I I don't know if I love this song, but I'm willing to believe it's not the highlight.
I hope not. I mean, it's really good, but this song is not on par with the best of Machine. I mean, it sounds something more along, I was just saying to them, it sounds like something more along the lines of something you'd hear on that album, though.
Yeah. This seems like the industrial metal sort of logical conclusion. Like industrial metal in 2020 would probably sound like this.
Alrighty, and the song's over.
Yes. All right, we are on.
Worth dying for.
This music already sounds like it's worth dying for. Yeah, I am the one. Okay.
Oh, I like that. That's like ASMR metal right here.
Is that what the Beatles were? They were just ASMR before that existed? Is that what good stereo mixing is now? Just ASMR?
Yes.
Okay. I hate you. I hate everything about it. I was born in the wrong time. All right. I'm not like other boys. I listened to the
Le
Beatles.
wrong generation.
I was in the wrong generation. You know, it literally took look, like the Fiona Apple thing, like the new Fiona Apple record that came out in like April. I only listened to it a few days ago. I've also been procrastinating the new Harry Styles album. That's how I'm not. I'm an audioholic.
I like this song a lot more than the other one.
Yeah, me too. I'm an audioholic, but I'm not a popaholic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't even know why you're going out of your way to listen to Harry Styles anyway. He fucking sucks.
Because the first album was amazing, Tyler.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I listened to the same album you did, and I did not see what you saw.
Come on. Girl, stop you crying. It's a sign of the times. Yeah, this song is amazing, though.
I like this part right here.
So, again, to remind everybody, I have not really listened to anything else by Static X. I listened to a tiny bit, like the first minute or so of Push It. So, when I rate this album at the end, it's going to be based off of next to no experience with this band. So
yeah, and that's mostly the same for me. Like, I've heard the first two albums, but I know nothing about the band outside of that.
Yeah,
I'm a very casual fan of this band.
I have no expectations for this band. So far, it's all right. Maybe I'd give it like a 7 or an 8.
I'm leaning towards a strong 8.
Yeah. But again, it just started.
Yeah. If it gets like a lot stronger, then I could see myself giving it a 9, but I don't see it becoming a 10.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
But I will say I really love this song.
I haven't listened to the first two albums, but something tells me they're probably better.
I mean, so far, I'd say Machine is better.
Okay.
We'll see, but I
Yeah.
mean, but also, I'm pretty sure that's kind of an unpopular opinion. A lot of people really love that first album.
Uh,
And it's not that I dislike it. It just
it's just
doesn't hit
not.
the same for me.
Yeah, I understand. We are on Terminator. What is it? Collaboration? No.
It is Terminator Oscillator.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm blind. I can't read this shit. I literally know. I've heard that same
mean.
like public domain like sound at the very beginning. I've heard that on YouTube channels before.
That riff is fucking mean.
There we go. Now. Okay, already best song. Alright, this is already the best song.
The last song was a lot more mainstream sounding than this one.
Yeah.
The first real song on the album was more along the lines of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is definitely best song so far.
Yes. The later.
So on another note entirely, guess what, people? I'm giving guitar lessons tomorrow.
You're giving guitar lessons.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's pretty cool. I guess I'll need to know more about that later.
Yeah.
Like, I assume you're not gonna like give out like any details about that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not specific details, but yeah. Yeah, I mean,
are they like paying you to do that?
I believe so. I don't know how much though. I'm mostly just doing it for fun.
Fair enough.
Maybe at some point later I could do it for a fee, but
at some point we've talked about this before. I'm gonna need to like pay him to come over. I'm not gonna pay him too much. Maybe just like $1 or $2 an hour or something like that. Like just because like I don't want him to do it for free, but I don't want to pay too much.
Just give me like $10 a day or something. Screw the per
I could
hour
do
thing.
that. Yeah, like I could just do like $10 a day and maybe like have you work like, I don't know, 3 to 5 hours.
I mean, if it even takes me that long.
It's a multi-step process. I did about half of it, but anyway.
I'll probably at least go over that half again, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song is fucking amazing.
Yes.
If the whole album was this good, it would be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
There's already been a lot of variety in this album, which is kind of nice.
Especially considering it's so short. That's pretty cool. I mean, this song is
I love how we're
over.
calling a 40-minute album short now.
I mean, yeah, that's about, yeah, you're right. That's about like standard album, like all these years. Yeah, but like what a time we live in where like Greta Van Fleet can come out with a 36-minute long album and just call it an EP.
Right. I mean, fucking Dream Theater, a Change of Seasons EP is like an hour and a half long.
That is an EP for them. This is a really good song, too. All these years.
Correction. The album is 57 minutes and 33. I'm sorry, the EP is 57 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, that is so short. That's
for a Dream Theater album. That's so short. That's like the punk equivalent of putting out a 5-minute album.
Yeah. Or the Shags equivalent of, not sucking.
So, like, immediately my biggest criticism of this album so far is, like, it has a really unique sound to it. Like you said, it's industrial, kind of Rob Zombie influenced. It's kind of
Yeah.
electronic in some ways, too, which is interesting. But, like, my biggest criticism is that it's kind of a compliment and a criticism. This sounds like something that came out 10 years ago. It really does.
I
And
mean,
that's both a compliment and a criticism to me because, one, I feel like the band hasn't evolved much, but, like, two,
yeah,
I mean, I don't think. All right.
I can
The
agree with
albums I
that.
listened
Like,
to by them were good, but they weren't amazing. They, like I said earlier, not best of all time material. I'd say the highest I would give them is an 8 out of 10. And
yeah,
this album is kind of just more in that vein, which is kind of a shame to me because I felt like after so much time, they should put out a magnum
yeah.
opus or something like
Well,
that.
like, yeah, exactly. Like, you have like when industrial metal kind of died, when the hits kind of, when all of the spotlight kind of went off of Marilyn Manson, what came of the ashes of that? I would argue metalcore. I think that's more
Yeah.
so. I think that's more so, and to some degree, maybe it is, I guess. But I think this album maybe should have gone more in that sense. Like, if they wanted to, like, I guess I can understand, like, don't follow a trend, stick to what you're good at, but I
It didn't
think,
evolve
like,
at all.
it didn't really evolve at all. And
And to
I
be fair, like, say what you will about a band like Tool. They didn't put out an album for 13 years, but their music was a lot different. Like, when you listen
yeah,
to Fear Inoculum or In Column or however you pronounce that shit, and you
Inoculum,
go
right?
back to 10,000 Days, like, it's night and day different music,
I
you
really
know?
should listen to 10,000 Days. That seems like it would be, like, the Tool album I actually like.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's a lot of good tunes on that one. The Pot, that one's a very emotional album, too. But
Um,
anyway, back to what I was saying about this album. Like, it just maybe it's just the fact that, like, we praise certain bands. Like, there's this band I recently introduced him to called Horisont, Swedish band, and
yeah,
they kind of sound a lot like 70s rock, and that's something we
yeah,
praise them for. Like, oh, this sounds like 70s rock, but it has, like, a modern spin to it. It doesn't just
yeah.
straight up sound like something that came out of the 70s. It's clearly a 2020 album, just with a 70s hard rock style to it. I can't
Well,
say this is a 2020 album. This is a 2005 album,
so I guess
you
the
know?
other side of that, though, is that it plays into nostalgia, and as we all know, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. So I mean, like, like, going back to Greta Van Fleet. Greta Van Fleet sounds like a very particular band from the 1970s. And to some people, that would seem kind of hacky and doesn't seem, and I guess sort of regressive, and I can understand that. The way I look at it is I like said band that they were inspired by. And also, before I get on with that, we are on Accelerate. But I look at it as I really like the band that they were inspired by. And I would like to hear more from that band, but they refuse to reunite. So I guess, like, this is what we can do to wait for another, until, like, Rob Zombie or Marilyn Manson comes out with a new album. Yeah, Marilyn Manson's been doing music, but like, Rob Zombie really hasn't.
Yeah, I guess if you look at it from that perspective, like, it's still an 8 out of 10 album. I guess I'm just kind of disappointed that it wasn't more than that.
Again, I can understand that. Like, I can understand there's two sides to that, and I can, like, say, like, there are two sides of me. I think that a band should progress, because obviously you shouldn't be pigeonholed into one thing. But at the same time, as much as I don't like the man, and as much as he's consistently vilified, Mike Love infamously or famously or whatever said, don't fuck with the formula. And sometimes bands that are formulaic because they got the formula down right early on. Yeah, that was a good song. We are on...
Album's already almost over.
Yeah, I know, right? We are on Bring You Down, Project Regeneration.
Hey, that was the name of the Hollow also.
Yeah, what? And then there's
Oh,
another song later on.
I guess there's 3 of them.
What, is it like 3 parts of a concept or something? That's weird.
I don't know, maybe.
Is this supposed to be some sort of weird concept album? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't really been reading the lyrics because it's Static X. Why would I? But, you know, honestly, I'm enjoying it.
I am too. I mean, like, I can understand the criticisms of it, but...
To me, like, the way that my rating system works, a 7 out of 10 album is an album that I would say was enjoyable, but it's not one I would ever come back to again, and it's one that has major flaws.
Yeah,
An 8 out of 10 is an album that is really good, and I would come back to it again, but it's not great. And that's kind of what I feel about this one.
Okay, in that case, if we're going by that metric, I would give it a 7.5 because it's something that's good and I may possibly come back to it.
I mean, who are you kidding? You're not coming back to it.
I don't know, maybe. I'm definitely more motivated to listen to their earlier stuff at least.
Yeah, you might do that, but
yeah.
I doubt you'll return to this album again after this. You barely return to the albums you give a 9 out of 10. You know, this actually reminds me a lot of Korn.
I can understand. Actually, I guess, like, musically I can understand that, but the overall feel is really different. Korn always sounds like they're on the verge of a mental breakdown, and that works for them, but this seems a little bit more polished. I would not say that. I'd say it's a lot more polished than Korn, which you could take as a blessing and a curse, but that's just my observation.
It almost sounds like the same guy. Like, the way he says "bring you down" is almost, it sounds almost exactly like Jonathan Davis.
No, like, Korn is like, I'm just a freak on a leash. Like, he always sounds like he's on the verge of a mental breakdown. He sounds like he's on the verge of crying.
I mean, how much Korn have you listened to? He doesn't always sound like that.
I don't know, the shit that you've shown me.
One of these days, we ought to cover a Korn album on here.
We might have to, yeah. We're going to be doing some new stuff for a little while. Hopefully, Haken's Virus will
come that's Friday.
This weekend. Yeah.
I'm super fucking excited. I hope it actually comes out this time.
I hope they delay it because it'll piss you off and it'll be funny.
It will. Come to think of it, what am I working that day? Because I am definitely staying up all day for that. Or all night, I mean.
All right.
I mean, it's a good song. It's probably the weakest one so far in my eyes.
I would not say that. I kind of like it. I like the chorus.
No!
What?
I'm working 0 hours. How will I ever have time to listen to Haken?
All right. Shut up, Jonathan Davis. All right. We are on My Destruction.
Destruction,
Tyler. You idiot. This is a pretty heavy song already. Come on. It's building up. Some shit's going down. Get ready for it.
I hope it builds up to something fucking amazing.
I hope it does. Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh shit, ladies and germs.
I love the use of space in this album. Like,
Yeah.
one mistake I think a lot of bands make when they write riffs and grooves and things like that, they don't put any space in there. Like in this album, you got space, space. Like, and that adds to the groove and the overall feel of the riff and the song. You have all kinds of bands who just refuse to put space at all, and instead they just chug away during those sections, and it just destroys the momentum, in my opinion.
I totally understand and agree with what you're saying. No, I actually do. I can agree. Like a lot of the, that's my problem with metalcore is it's just noise layered on top of noise layered on top of noise. I don't think that's kind of my biggest problem is that metalcore and death metal and things like that don't really have a lot of room for space.
You know what? I think whose turn is it to pick an album?
For
regular albums, not ones that we're covering that are topical like this one.
I don't know. I guess you can pick an album if you want.
The album I pick is Human by Death.
Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that
some point.
At some point, whenever, because like
that will be the next podcast.
Because there's a lot of new albums coming out right now, so I don't know. We were originally gonna do Trapped, and then we realized they're too irrelevant for that. They're too irrelevant for us. I honestly had a game plan. I was gonna like see if I could flame. So like, if you don't know the news with Trapped, he's been like going on this like several month long flame war on Twitter about, I guess, a variety of things, but like Trump and Black Lives Matter and other new metal bands and things like that. And I was gonna like start it off by like trying to provoke him, like saying something stupid like, "Oh, Trump infamously loves eating puppies and told Melania to go back to Africa." Like,
Trump's favorite song is "Headstrong" by Trapped.
No, Trump's favorite song is "Photograph" by Nickelback.
Oh, by the way, we are now on Something of My Own.
Which the joke of that is that's one of the bands that the dude from Chris Brown is his actual name, was railing against.
Listen to that. Did you hear that fucking riff in the beginning there? That was fucking the best riff on the album right there. That was great.
Worst riff of all time, 0 out of 10. I like this too. This might actually be one of my favorites. I'd say this, Something of My Own, Terminator, Oscillation, and maybe Bring You Down.
I think probably Something of My Own's first, Terminator, Oscillator second, Worth Dying For third.
Yeah.
Maybe probably Hollow fourth.
Yeah.
Hollow's really good. This is
there are definitely really good songs and some kind of mess songs. So overall, I don't
know if I would say any of it is filler though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anything is filler, but like there are songs that are better than others.
Oh, for sure. Oh, that's 100%. I think honestly, like Bringing You Down didn't suck, but it's probably the worst song on the album.
I kind of like the chorus. That's why I liked the chorus. That's why I kind of made it a highlight.
I don't know. Like, it's a cool chorus, but it just reminds me too much of Korn. Doesn't feel original enough for me.
So what? Korn's awesome.
Korn is awesome, but like, it's not original.
Not everything. Every note has been done. Like, basically every song has already been done.
I mean, yeah, if you want to be a fucking technical asshole about it, yeah, fine. But like, there's a difference between making music that's original and making music that just sounds like another band. You know, like you have unique bands that have unique sounds and
I
unique
guess,
songs.
but I don't know. Like, I'm again, I'm not familiar with Static X, but I think expecting them to be original and unique and groundbreaking is expecting too much of them.
Yeah, at this point, I guess. I would say that their first two albums are way better than this, in my
Yeah, I've
opinion.
never. I mean, I listened to a little bit of Push It, and again, it just sounds like Rob Zombie. So
Oh, this
I
really
guess,
sounds like Rob Zombie.
yeah, a lot of it. I would say this is like if Rob Zombie released an album in 2020, it wouldn't sound too dissimilar to this. And in fact, this song is called.
Ostigo Placebo.
Okay, thank God, I would have never been able to read that.
Otsigo Placebo, actually.
Hasta
I don't.
luego.
I'm not sure what Otsigo is. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fucking cool.
that is a really cool.
Like
Like
vocal
what?
effect.
Like what? Yeah, like what techniques are they doing with the guitar? Do you know?
I mean, it just sounds to me like they're adding a whole lot of effects and things like that in there.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
really doing anything groundbreaking technical wise
Hmm.
on the guitar, I think. This is a really good song. This might be one of my favorites now. This is really good.
Yeah,
I'm thinking maybe below Terminator Oscillator in my list. My little, like,
yeah.
something of my own is still just so fucking good. I can't. Oh, also, this track is 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Perfect.
Aha! Nice.
And that's the
Nice.
one thing I will say about all these songs. None of them overstay their welcome. In fact, I
Agree.
honestly wish some of them were longer.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like some of them are like 3 minutes, and I kind of wish they were a little bit longer.
Yeah, because it's so fun.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually wished for a song to be longer. Most songs are either just the right length or too long.
I got to say, I'm glad I listened to this album,
Yeah.
and I think I would return to it. Maybe like a few
Yeah.
songs. I don't know if I would listen to the whole thing again, but I'd pick out some songs and I'd listen to them again.
I mean, look, if one of the complaints of this album is that it's not long enough, you're in good company.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this part's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I love like the I love the vocal effects that they have in this song. I love I don't know if you'd call that a harmony, but the different layers of vocals that they had in that
Yeah.
section.
This is, I think, like the bare. This is like, I keep saying they should have gone more metalcore. I think they did to some degree, and this is like the bare edge of what of. This is like soft core metalcore almost. Like, what was that one dude that like killed himself like a year ago? Not Periphery. It might be Periphery. I don't remember. But he had like that kind of like techno infused rock. It kind of reminds me a
Oh,
bit of that.
yeah, kind of. That wasn't Periphery. That was
Prodigy, I think.
yeah, Prodigy. The Prodigy.
Yeah.
Firestarter is the big song by them.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Prodigy. So I guess this is like the reincarnation of Prodigy, maybe. I don't know.
Prodigy might have been like really inspired by Static X.
Maybe. I don't
Because
know.
I
I
think
don't know which
Prodigy's a
one.
more newer band.
I don't know which one came first. I'm so ignorant about both of these bands. All I know is that when we went to Sonic Temple, Papa Roach did a Prodigy cover in tribute, and still kind of acted like a condescending jerk. But that's new metal for you.
So, Static X came out in 99. The Prodigy came out in 92.
Oh, okay then.
Follow. We are now on.
Let's see how they follow this one up.
They'll follow it up with the souls of dead people.
Okay, that's
Edit because
already
the
a cool
song's
title.
called Dead Souls.
Nice. That's a pretty cool. I wish it was Dark Souls, but Dead Souls is alright. Oh shit, that riff is tasty.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's Sabbathy.
What?
Listen to that bend. Oh,
I can kind of... Yeah, I get it now. Is Sabbath really, like, the band that inspired bending?
Not bending in general. Like, bending was done for a long time before Sabbath came along. That's a huge blues thing. But, like, in the way that they did it, I'd say that mostly started with Sabbath, yeah.
Because, like, a lot of bands kind of... I guess you're right, though. Like, I could not think of anybody but Sabbath with a riff like this. Apart from all the people who just took Sabbath's shit, ran with it, and didn't have nearly the success. Candlemass.
Candlemass didn't have the same success because they weren't as mainstream as Sabbath. At least
but like if
Sabbath.
If Candlemass had come out around the same time as Black Sabbath, I think they would have had a lot more recognition.
Probably. Because I think part of the reason Black Sabbath was as big as they were is because they were the first ones to do that type of thing.
Yeah. And also, like, they just happened to coincide at a time of mass unrest and war and a lot of bad things happening, and all of the music at the time was give peace a chance, smile on your brother. Like,
then Sabbath comes along with like
just like fuck all that shit.
Songs about Satan and shit.
I mean, like, Ozzy still did like some of that peace and love shit if you really think about it, but that was not the main focus of the music.
Yeah, this is a fucking badass song instrumentally, but it has a lot. Oh, the vocal aspect of it isn't great, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss for me too. I think the older stuff is a little bit better, but I don't hate this either.
No, this song is very guitar driven, which is fine. Just wish there was some better like melodies and chorus lines and hooks in this song.
And
we're on the last song of the album, Dead Souls. Be with me. This is
different. This is kind of out of left field. I like it though. There's like acoustic in the background. Can you hear that?
Yeah, a little.
I think. Or it's just a cleaner electric. I don't know.
Sounds like an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
See, this is truly ASMR metal. This is truly.
No. That triggers me. Don't call music with good stereo mixing ASMR music.
Okay, but listen to the sound of that acoustic guitar and tell me it did not send chills down your spine and all over your head. It didn't send
chills down my spine, but are you implying that the Beatles and Pink Floyd are ASMR music?
Yes. And King Crimson. And Gentle Giant. Gentle Giant is the king of ASMR music.
Don't ever say those words again, Tyler. We regret to inform you...
I guess you could say that they are the giants of gentle music called ASMR music.
So, this just in, Tyler Hoffer has been unceremoniously kicked out of Audioholics Anonymous. His loss will be dearly missed, but easily replaceable. Anyway.
Yeah, easily replace him with, like, Brooke. All of your subs leave.
Nah, man, female power, all those subs are going to be multiplied.
Not after they hear her voice.
No. No.
No, I'm just kidding. That'll bring even more of them.
Yeah, exactly. No, get Christina, and we turn this into the WWE Unite podcast.
She could totally run her own podcast about that too.
Exactly. She should have her own show, like the history of WWE music, the inner workings of Volbeat.
She's not interested.
You asked her?
Yes. She's playing Lego Pirates of the Caribbean right now.
The
Caribbean, whatever. Fuck off.
the allegory of Back in Black by AC/DC.
I hate that album.
The slave trade allegory of Hell's Bells.
Like, if we were to do that album on the podcast, I would give it a 7 out of 10 objectively, but a 2 out of 10 personally.
It's a good... Look, this is what I'm saying, is, like, the reason bands like AC/DC are formulaic is because they got it right the first time, and I agree with that.
Yeah, sure, they got it right, but, like, in that they got a B-, which is technically better than a C and not failing, but it's not fantastic either.
I think
and
you
it's
just
not
don't
good
know.
to just get a B- over and over again.
Here's the thing I think you don't understand. I don't think you understand how to have fun with music. I don't think you know how...
I listen to more Ailstorm and Steel Panther and shit like that than you ever have.
Okay, but, like, you don't know how to turn your mind off and just...
How do you listen to music about zombie pirates eating a pirate ship without turning your brain off?
Okay, well, here's the thing. There's a difference between mindless and so not funny that it's annoying.
That doesn't.
And I do love Steel Panther, but Ailstorm is not funny, and the joke sucks.
It's pirate metal. It's not a joke. I mean, it is got a cheeky sense of humor to it, but it's not a joke band.
Really? Yo, wait. Fuck You With an Anchor isn't a joke song?
Well, that's probably a joke song, but, like, as a band, like, they tell actual stories, like album-long epics about, like, pirates fighting Vikings who went back in time, and, like, they're not a joke band. They're just a gimmicky band and a tongue-in-cheek one, like Ghost.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, we are done with the album.
Yeah, that's all she wrote for Static X Project Regeneration, and I gotta say, Dead Souls is probably the worst song on the album for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I tried something new.
Songs that I think were a lot weaker, but overall, I would say no song on the album felt like filler. Nothing felt. I guess some of it felt a little bit subpar, but none of it felt like filler. So it's in that sort of sweet spot between, like, a good album and an album with good songs on it.
I would say that, like, every part of this album had its own purpose. Like, I what I mean by that is, like, nothing felt out of place. Everything felt like it needed to exist. I wouldn't cut anything from this album. Hell, I'd add things to it, but I'm sticking with what I said early on, 7.5 out of 10, in that I love it, or I like it, and I might consider listening to it.
I'm with you. I think 7.5 is good.
Yeah.
Because of the reason I said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if we're going by the metric that you laid out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the metric I always go by. A 10 out of 10 album to me is not necessarily a perfect album. It's just an album that is as perfect as you can reasonably expect it to be.
Fair enough.
And I mean, honestly, like, I wouldn't say there's any such thing as a perfect album. You could go back and criticize Abbey Road and, like, other albums that are generally considered perfect. I proved that on the podcast we did with Abbey Road. You can criticize it. That doesn't make it any less of a 10 out of 10 that it has flaws, but it proves a point.
I think that's all to say we should do the Beatles
again
on Wrong Opinion. But because, like, on Wrong Opinion, because, like, I originally didn't want to do it because, like, that just seems like such an easy target, but I think it would actually be
Yeah.
kind of interesting for someone who didn't actually grow up with the Beatles.
To like explore their entire discography. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard quite a few Beatles albums, and I think Revolver is the one that's grown on me the most. I think we talked about this in the last episode too, and I said the same thing.
maybe.
But the only song I don't like on it is Yellow Submarine. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that song, but other than that, it was probably my favorite Beatles album. It's super psychedelic. It's Beatus.
Did you say Beatus?
Beatus the fetus.
Diabetes.
Fuck, we're getting
Diabetes.
demonetized.
They they considered monetizing us for a split second, and then
We've gotten demonetized so hard that we now have to pay to be on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, is that why I keep getting recommendations for YouTube Premium?
Yeah. All right, people. I don't want to drag this out much longer, so that has been Static X Project Regeneration Volume 1. If you listened along with us the whole time, I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and well, I guess stay tuned for Volume 2 because assuming we're still assuming we're still doing shows at that point, we'll definitely cover Volume 2.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Eyes.